Hey guys, it is 4 o'clock and it's time for me to come on and make a Z Fold card, gift card holder with you guys. Okay, so just give me 1 second. I'm just going to pull you up here so that I could see comments as they come in because sometimes I can miss them going from the side. Okay, so while people are hopping on and stuff, I just wanted to do a little bit of housekeeping and discussion about the event. So we are hosting, I'm Chris, by the way, because I think I missed that at the beginning. I'm going to take my watch off too. Um, I'm Chris, and I am the other half of Creative Collaboration. And it's funny because Susan and I both say that when we introduce ourselves because we're each only one half, but we have a tendency to say the same thing. So I am one half of the Creative Collaboration, and Susan Williams is the other half. And we teach together in a membership group, and we've done some free events, and it truly is a collaboration. And we are in August, we will have been going on over 3 years. In June, actually, is when we first started our first venture together. So I feel kind of like June is kind of like the third anniversary also. So I just wanted to, I'm going to just talk for a few seconds at the very beginning about the event. So we are hosting together an event on April 17th, and it's called the Best of 2020. And our members voted over the course of several months about some of their favorite projects from the previous year. So we took them and we reimagined them, reinvented them, and recreated them, and we've packaged it into an all-day event that'll occur on April 17th. And I'm going to add in the comments below the link where you can find out more information about the event. And then the other thing is, so just so you know, the event is a paid event. It's $8, and it was just, we needed to structure it in a way that it was a private event. We had some issues with when you do a live event and there's a lot of people in it, you get a lot of other complications. So some of the complications are spammers are in an event. It's super hard to organize things within an event. And so we decided to go this route of a private group because it actually facilitates a lot of things. It's much more easy to function within a group and organize and give you added value for that. So included in the event, you'll get both of us teaching. We'll be there all day long. We start off at, I think, 9, and we have a cup of coffee together, and we'll kind of talk about the two of us and what we do and all those things and what's going to happen. And then over the course of the day, we each take turns going back and forth, and we teach the 6 classes. There are 2 scrapbooking classes. I'm going to teach a 6-card class, and then I'm going to teach a gift card holder. And then Susan has a super fun spinner card, and then an exploding box. So there's tons of projects for over the course of the day. I am just going to try and drop. It's a little bit difficult, but let me see if I could do this without making my whole system crash, because that would be bad. Okay, here we go. So if you need more information about where to find out the details, I'm going to drop the link in below right now. Also, if you have already paid for the event and you are not in the group, if you could please, I've included also, so I can't find myself right this second, 1 sec. If you could, I have a link that also says join the group here. If you could click on that. Now, so one of the things is there's a couple of questions that you get asked when you join the group, and that is, the email address that you joined with, basically, that your PayPal information came through. Because lots of times when people are paying for the event, your PayPal address you might not check it. So if you were not redirected, okay, I think I got that in there now, so I could close that down. You might not have been redirected to join the group. We did have some people that happened for, and we've sent emails back, but we just need you to actually request to join. We can't put people in a group, and then lots of people have a different name on Facebook than they do on a PayPal account, and all those kind of things. So that if you aren't in there and you think you should be, you could also either message Susan or I, or send a message to the CC page. Okay. I think that is enough of my yammering there. But if you guys have questions along the way, feel free to drop them in, and I'll try and answer them. I'm going to try and pop onto a little bit this week to help walk people through getting into the group if they can't find it and all those things. So as we were leading up to the event, we decided to do some free classes, and these are classes that we've taught before publicly, but maybe they just needed to be revisited, or maybe you didn't see them the first time around. A lot happens in life. So Susan came on the other day, and she was teaching the My Favorite Things layout. I think that's the third word. My Favorite Photos. Now I can't remember the title, but it's My Favorite Something Photos, I think. So I said I would pop on here tonight, and I'm going to teach this fun Zed Fold card. And I'm going to tell you a funny story. So I'm going to show you what it does. So you use PML cards to create it. You can obviously also switch out any of the pieces for cardstock. That is correct, Mary. But you still have to request to join the group. So it's a little Zed Fold card, and you can put a gift card right in here. This one doesn't have it out. I was smart enough, I took it out. And then you can add your message onto the back. So this was one with Seize the Day, which was the theme when we did the first big, huge public event last year. And then I did some recreations. This was with the NSD stamp set from last year, and they were super cute. Spread joy, not germs, and then I'll be there with you through thick and thin. So I just showed some other uses for the same project. I've done Christmas ones, and then this says, thank you for all you're doing to keep us safe. And we're still talking about it a year later. So thank you for your service, and then thank you on the back. So then the other day on my business page, I taught a couple of them. So I did a party time version, and I did a Daisy Meadow version. So I popped on here yesterday, and I said, okay, so we're for sure going to do a party time one. So I have my party time stuff all cut and ready to go. So we're going to start assembling that in a second. I'm going to make you big on my screen in 1 second. And then I said you could vote. So I let you pick between Daisy Meadows, if we would do another one, or Eat, Play, Love, and Eat, Play, Love one. So we're going to do a second gift card holder with Eat, Play, Love right now, on top of the party time one. Okay, so I have my pieces cut. And when I did that post, I also did send you the link to the Google Drive. So if you missed it, you can click on that, and it'll take you to the folder where you can find the sheet to print out. Okay, I'm going to put you big on my desk, I think. There we go. Okay, so like I said, this is super easy, but very fun. So I'm going to tell my story while I assemble my card. So the first one we're going to do is we're going to do a party time one. And so obviously on the sheet, it's the Seize the Day elements, but I'm switching them out for party time and party time or coordinating cardstock, and then some matching embellishments. So, and you can create it both ways, landscape or landscape or vertical, just depending on which PML cards you want to use. And this is a great way to use up some of those old extra PMLs that maybe you didn't use when you were scrapbooking and they're just sitting there. This is a great way to just use a few of the extras up and feel like you're making it through your stash. So on the inspiration sheet, it gives you the measurements. So we'll go through a few of them. So I have this background piece of paper, which is 5.5 by 4.25, and this is Lagoon. And then I have a liner for the back, and it's 4 by 5.25. And we're going to add that to the back in a second. And then, so I have one of the 4 by 6 PML cards, right? It's this one that says, it's got the fun words on the back side, and then the dots on this side. So you're just going to cut one of your PML cards down to, just 1 second, I know it's to 4 by 5.25, which leaves you with this little piece. We're going to add this onto the back because nothing will be wasted, okay? And then for creating the flap part, I want a fun little, so we're going to make this one landscape. Okay, we want a fun little sentiment. So you could do it this way too if you wanted, if you preferred, right? You could make it so it opened up this way. We're going to make this one so it opens up this way. Okay, and then I'm going to mount my little Z fold onto a piece of cardstock. And this piece of cardstock is 3.5 by 4.5. And then to actually make our Z fold, we need a piece that's 4.25 by 9.75. And we're going to score this. And then we have a second PML card that we're going to use to write our sentiment. So you could say happy birthday, hope you have a great day, to, from. And then I cut one PML card in half. And this is going to be the holder for our gift card holder. Okay, so I'm going to show you. When I made this one the other day, I used the other half. So I thought this is perfect. We use up all the pieces. So here's the other half right here, and now I'm going to use this half on this one. Okay, so we're going to score this piece, and we're going to score it 3.25 from each end. So I have the super old scoring tool from Close to My Heart, but you can score with, sorry, the camera does not like it. You can score with this, you can score on your trimmer, you can score with a ruler and a stylus. You can score with your scoring tool, with your bone folder, I mean, and a ruler. So if I wanted to do that, I would just measure my 3.25, lay my ruler down, and just take my bone folder and run it along that line, right? And so now this is what's going to create our Z fold, right? So I'm just making sure my sides are lined up nicely. And we go back and forth. Okay. So obviously there's like so many themes you could do with this. And like I said, this is a great way to use up a few of your scraps. Okay, so really now we're kind of all together. We have our pieces. Okay, now I just want something to go around it to hold it down. Okay, so first things first, we're going to move this to the side. We're going to put our back on because that's simple, right? So we have our base and we're going to add the liner and then our little leftover piece of PML card. So you can pick whichever side of the cardstock you want. You could play with the true color or the lighter color. It's completely up to you. Okay, and then I'm just adding that little extra piece just as like a little decoration. Okay, so now our back is done. You could stamp happy birthday, congratulations, whatever event it's for, and write more of a message there. Okay, so now we have our PML liner. So I'm going to just adhere that down. Okay, and so I originally was going to use the words, but I knew that I wanted my PML card to go this way, so that wouldn't have worked, or my words would have been on sideways. So I picked the other side of the paper. Okay. And now I have a piece of green apple, and it was the 3.5 by 4.5, and I'm going to add this once I find some adhesive. Always handy. Always when you go live, you run out of adhesive. So I'm just going to, okay, so I know I want that strip on the side, right? So I'm just going to add this like this. Okay, so let's build this before we put our twine on. So this is my front piece, right? So I'm going to add that like that. And then you can decide whether you want your gift card holder on the bottom, or if you want it in and your message up here, or you can go the other way around. If you wanted to just add a decorative piece instead, you could totally do that also. So we're going to add these. So I'm going to put the gift card holder at the bottom this time because we've got it in the middle on this one. So we're going to put it on the bottom for this one. So I'm just making sure it works the right way. Okay. Just like that. Okay, so for the gift card holder portion of the bottom, you want to make sure to leave part of it open. I'm going to just use this gift card so I don't have to walk across the room to get another one, right? Because you want it to be able to go in and out. You don't want to seal off the top because then you can't slide it in. So I just have some strong tape because it's something that's going to get pulled in and out. So I'm just going to lay some across the bottom and then up the two sides. So kind of what I'm doing tonight is kind of what we do every week in the membership group. Susan and I both take turns and we teach. And we teach mostly with Close to My Heart products because we're both consultants. But the members don't have to use Close to My Heart products. They can use whatever they want. And we're about using up your stash. So that is actually like one of the reasons that this was such a well-received project, right? Because everybody's got a few leftover cards in their stash. So you can, like I said, you can switch it up. You could add paper. You could add stamped pieces. You could add a big, huge die-cut flower on the front. You could add Cricut pieces. This project is super versatile to switch up. So, okay, so now we want you to use what you have and feel a sense of satisfaction that you're using what you own. Okay, so now our gift card is in there. Okay, so we're going to close it up, and now we're going to add some twine and add it to the front. Okay, so I just grabbed my raspberry twine because we all know I love it. Okay, so I'm just going to grab a long length. And I'm probably going to grab more than I need just because we're on live camera, and that's better. Okay, so just to take the kinks out, I'm just going to quickly run my bone folder over the twine just to take a few of the kinks out. I'm not overly worried about it being straight because it's going to get folded up anyway. So I'm going to double it. You don't have to. I like the lot of twine not on the front, okay? So I can decide where I want it to tie up. And I'm just going to, it'll be pretty at the end. I'm not so worried about that right at the moment. I just want to get it down onto the base. So I'm just making sure, I have enough twine here. You could use ribbon, all sorts of stuff. I'm sure somebody has some stuff in their stash that they want to get rid of. Okay, so now I am going to, you don't have to, but you could just use strong adhesive. But I'm going to add the thin 3D foam tape to the back, just to give it a little bit of room for this twine. But first, I'm just going to, when I'm happy with the placement, hey Leona, hey Lori. So when I'm happy with the placement of my twine, I don't want to go too high and I don't want to go too low, right? So I'm going to be happy with it being about there. I'm just going to add a little tape to the back so it doesn't move around while I put the rest of the card together. These are perfect, and I think that you guys in the States are coming close to the end of the school year too, right? They're super nice to make like a bunch of them all at the same time, and then I just have a pile in my drawer, right? So I'm just going to add some thin 3D foam tape to the back. The next one we might be using thick because this is the end of the thin. That's okay. Like I said, you can also do it flat as long as you're using something like the score tape that's strong and you know it's not going to come up. So if you don't want to use twine, you could use ribbon. I mean, it will stay shut. It does stay shut if you this one has the twine, so it will make it pop up. But if you do really strong creases with your scoring tool, it kind of stays shut. Too, you have to remember you're going to put it in an envelope anyway, so if you don't want to add the twine, you don't need to. I'm sure you could even add like kitchen twine if you wanted, right? To tie it up. You just wouldn't want it to be like crazy bulky. Okay, so I'm just pulling the backing off. You could also put like a magnetic closure if you wanted to do that, but I can't remember if that is what demagnetizes gift card holders. So that's really it now. We're just going to add some dots and then we're done with this one. So you could add stickers also to the front if you wanted to just use cardstock. I'm going to have a sip of my water and I'm going to add some dots to the front. But these are so colorful, the party time, that you don't really need a ton of decoration, right? So, yeah, you could use Velcro, mini Velcro, or the magnets. It kind of just depends on the look you're going for. Okay, so then I grabbed the in this together. Oh no, those are my Daisy Meadow. That's for the next one. But I have some in this together dots. So we are going to use the yellow and orange there on this sheet. So you guys, whoever watches me all the time too, you know that I have two doodles. And I'm going to show you at the end. I took a picture of each of them before I started teaching because they were completely goofy. So they're exhausted because they've been running around outside. It's beautiful here now. So, and right, like I said, it's super colorful, so you kind of don't really even need to worry too much about embellishing it. But so there is the first one, and your message can go on the back. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys while we're here. Okay, so there's Emmy. She's sitting in my office chair, obviously super thrilled that I'm going to be teaching a live class, right? And then, okay, here's Obi, and he's even more excited that I'm going to be teaching a live class. So I hope you guys are enjoying it more than them. I just had to take those pictures because I thought that was hilarious. I'm like, obviously it is boring here. So there are the two party time versions, and now we're going to make an eat, play, love version. Okay. So just going to move this one over here. They are super cute. They're goofy. They make me laugh. So you just need a good laugh some days, right? So that's their job. They are adorable. Okay, so for this one, we're going to do, this is going to be a little more of a sophisticated one, right? So same thing though, I've used PML cards, right? So I just pulled apart my package and I picked out some cards. And I've got so many gift card holders stacked over here. I better start giving some of them away. But then the funny thing is I go to teach it again and somebody asked to see Christmas ones and I realized I gave away all my Christmas ones, so I couldn't even show them. I do have old photos, and I think that if you click on the Google Drive link that I posted below before, the Christmas version I do believe is in there. Okay, so we're going to do exactly the same thing, but we're going to do it in different color combination, and we're going to do it with the Eat, Play, Love. Okay, so I just realized I need to cut this in half, but it's going to cut right through the heart. So I'm wondering if maybe we should switch out that card. This was the other one I was thinking. So I think, because this one is also that way, so we're going to use that one instead. And I will cut it in half on camera. Okay, so it's the same pieces, but you guys will get to see me do it another time so that if you missed part of it, it'll still make sense. And we're going to make the envelope to match this one, just like I did last time. But I didn't make a second party time envelope today. I'm trying to see where that envelope is. I know it's here somewhere. So when I made the party time one, I added a little bit of paper to the top so that the envelope matched the gift card holder. So we're going to do that in our second version, this one. Okay, so I'm also going to show you, you can score differently, right? If you want to use your trimmer to score, you can just put your cardstock in your trimmer and run your bone folder down the track. Just going to make sure I move my blade out of the way. Okay, so, and each score line is 3 1/4 from each end, and that's marked down on the sheet. I will at the end add the Google Drive link back into this video. It's just a little bit hard to add my own links in while I am live. Okay, so again, same thing. I'm just making sure my sides are even. So I think I've gone to start this story 3 times, but this project I've taught it in the group, and then I taught it at an event last year. And then when they were picking the best of 2020, sorry, here, I'll give it something to focus on. When they were picking the best of 2020, they picked this project again. So I'm like, oh, people must have really liked it. So that's why I thought, okay, we'll come back and we'll teach it live again. Okay, so this one I also picked, oddly enough, Lagoon as my background. So again, there's just the liner piece, right? Okay, and so I picked this PML card for the front, the floral one, and I've just cut off the extra piece so that it'll form the liner, but I'm going to do like the front, the light side of the lagoon. Oh, let's see. I don't know which side. Not that it makes much of a difference, but I think we'll go with the other side. The floral is just slightly different. Okay, so yes, I did run out of tape runner in both tape runners. Because of course that's going to happen. Okay. Okay, so even though with me yammering and running out of tape runner, we're still going to make 2 gift card holders in record time. So if anybody has questions about the Best of 2020 event, I'm more than happy to answer them. If I don't catch the question live and you're watching on the replay, we both come back and we'll address any comments or questions. So ask away if you have a question. Okay. There we go. So the theme, if nobody has seen, is we did pick the Lovely paper pack as the theme for the Best of 2020. Oh, hey, Kim. We did pick Lovely as the theme. But you can also use your own stash if you want. And there's a full cutting guide for all 6 projects, so they're grouped together, or individual sheets if you prefer to use from your own stash and cut up your projects. So there's a little decorative strip. And here is my Z piece again. Okay, so I'm going to add my background. I picked Fern. So this is the 3.5 by 4.5 piece, I believe, because I've said it so many times now today. So that goes on like that. Okay, so now we're going to set that aside. We're going to build our Z fold part. Okay, so maybe I should build this one the other way because we built the other one landscape. So maybe we will build this one this way. Okay, so I've got that. I'm going to put that at the bottom. So we're going to tie the twine this way. So we're going to add our PML cards like so. Okay, and we have to cut that one because it, okay, so this one, we're going to do the gift card holder in the middle part. Okay, and we'll do our flour that way. Okay, so today also I was thinking, if you wanted another use for this, this would be a great way to also add a recipe, because we're playing with the eat, love, play, right? Or eat, play, love. I thought that would be a great place to add a recipe onto the back of it. So, okay, so then the gift card holder, I'm going to make it go this way. So we're going to cut this in half. Just like that. And same thing, right? I want my tape on the 3 sides so I can slide my card down. I'll grab another gift card. This one is not going to match very well. I should have used it the other way, but yeah, I thought it would be a great way to share a recipe on the back. Like you could print it off even, because it's a 4x6 size. It's not 4x6, it's 4 by 5 1/4. But you could also handwrite a recipe and then they could save it. That's some of my favorite things. So I actually, quite a few years ago, and my grandmother had long past was deceased. I put together, for my dad's generation and my generation, her grandkids. She had like the great grandkids were alive, but they never met her. But I put together a recipe book for her. Well, our favorite recipes of hers that and the memories that were attached to them. So I had each of her kids send me their favorite recipes and then the stories that went along with them, and then each of the grandkids, and compiled it all into an album so that everybody had it. And my favorite part is the recipes that are in her own handwriting, because I remember her handwriting, right? So, okay, so I just added adhesive around the outer edges and not across the top. So, yes, I love, so, and I have 2 sisters and we each had like a, well, that's not true. I didn't, but both my sisters each had a recipe shower where you brought a recipe to their shower. So it was like some of your favorite recipes. Because so much of your memory and is triggered by other things, right? Like smells and taste and, okay. So there, we're going to put this on the front. Make sure I've got it going in the right direction. And for this one, I just grabbed some of the mink twine. And same thing, I'm just going to pull off, I like the double thickness of the twine. So I'm pulling off more than I need. Like I said, because the last thing I want is to end up short on a live video. Same thing, I'm just pulling it through my finger with my bone folder. And just don't do it too fast or you give yourself rope burn. And you don't have to do that at all. Okay, so then I have a double length. And I'm just going to tie it in a bow. So the nice thing, I think that the reason that on top of using up like the ends of your PML cards, this is nice because it's a pretty simple project. It doesn't take a lot of supplies to use to create it. Okay, that's way too long. And then I'm going to untie it before I cut the other side because I want to make sure that those are the right ends. Okay, so we're going to put this on here like so. And same thing, I am going to add a little bit of 3D foam on the back. And then we just need to add we're going to make our envelope, and we're done. The Eat Play Love is actually, it's very beautiful. It all goes together so lovely. So this is just a fun little project that you can sit and mass produce and feel very accomplished at the end, right? So there's literally no rhyme or reason to my 3D foam tape other than what fits in the spot. Okay, so we're going to do this. And one of our favorite parts about the community, and we're so happy that's what we named it, because Susan and I are the creative collaboration part, and the members are all the community. But I'll say, and I say it every single time we do any sort of conversation about the membership group, our favorite part is seeing what the members do with our classes. So everybody gets a chance to share their artwork, and everybody is very raw about everybody else. And yes, this is the one I'm going to cut. They all feed off of each other, and everybody inspires everybody. It is definitely a community that we built. So I'll have you know that apparently all this talking has pepped Emmy up. She's finished her nap. She's going to sit in her chair now and watch part of my class. Thank goodness, because I was worried that I was boring her. Okay, so I'm just going to tie this up. We're going to add a few dots to the front, and then we'll create our matching envelope. And I'm just going to add some cardstock, some paper to the flap so that it matches. Okay, so to match this, I actually brought out the Daisy Meadow dots. Yes, it is an awesome place to be, I just have to say. So I grabbed the Daisy Meadow dots, and I'm going to use some that I think match, and I like these ones with it. So, and like I said, I think everybody is super encouraging of everybody else, and that I think we'll say is so fun to watch from the outside. Well, not from the outside because I'm on the inside, but you know what I mean. There we go. Okay. Yes, Cindy, our members are just the best. Okay, so now we're just going to do the flap of the envelope, just so I have a little bit of a fancy envelope to go with it. So I do believe this is 2 by 5 3/4. I'm just going to double check that because I have 2 pieces sitting in front of me, and I think I maybe cut it twice. So I've just cut a piece of paper to 2 inches by 5 3/4, and I'm just going to add my adhesive to my flap. And the close to my heart envelopes have a little bit of a curve there, so this is obviously square. So I'm adding it to the flap, and then I'm just going to flip it over, and I can trim it out. You guys will have a super hard time seeing this, but I can see, because for you it's going to look like white on white, but I can see the curve of the envelope flap. So I'm just following that and trimming off just that little bit extra. And it just gives you a nice, pretty envelope to match. So who would not like to get that? Right? Like, look at that. And then if you gave them a recipe on top of that, sorry, when there's a lot of white, sometimes things go crazy. Okay, you guys, so that's what I've got for you today. And okay, so I'm gonna make myself big. I'm gonna put all my envelopes and cards down here. My sheet, we don't need to look at that anymore. So I'm gonna put these all out here. See, there's the Daisy Meadow one, and I have an envelope to match that with the little bunny on the front. And these ones are just not tied back up again. But while I do my, I'll tie them up while I do my closing. So if you want more information about joining us for the Best of 2020, you can, I'm going to add the link probably in the description. Well, it's in the comments. It was my first comment. So I believe I can pin it now. So I will try and pin it. Yes, the Easter Bunny is super cute. I will try and pin it to the top. But if you have any questions about how to register for the event, you just basically, there is a newsletter and you just click through the links. It's got all the information about what's going to happen. If you're not available to watch on that day, that's okay also. The videos will be housed in that private group to watch when it's convenient for you to watch. Once you've clicked on the PayPal link and we have notification, then you should be redirected to actually join that private group. And it is called, we will be opening to new members right after the event. So we do this typically twice a year. We kind of hold some form of an event and then we open to new members right after the group. I will, Tammy, underneath your comment, I'll send you to the newsletter link. If you sign up for the newsletter, you will, hey Gay, you will be notified as soon as we're open again. So we will be opening right after the event, and the event is April 17th. So we will open to new members right after that for a few days. And then we close back up again. So if you're not on the newsletter list, you want to be so that you know when we're open. Sorry, there's just a big gust of wind came through. And I'm surprised it didn't actually completely slam my office door. But you know when you can hear the whoosh as it goes through the house? Okay. Yeah, so there will be, right after we finish the event on the 17th. Sorry, I'm trying to do two things at once, or three things, because I'm also trying to read the comments. There'll be a newsletter with all the information about after the event about joining the group. So like I said, we typically open twice a year, once in the spring and once in the fall. But that's not guaranteed. So, but if you guys have questions, I'll monitor this thread and try and answer them as best I can. So there goes my door. But it's not closing all the way, so the wind keeps picking it back up again. So, yeah, that one I'm not going to be able to tie on camera. I'll tie it after. So like I said, if you guys have any questions, ask them. I'll come back and I'll answer them. I do see that Susan popped on from way up in the air. So I'm in charge for the next few days, so you guys can ask me any questions you want. And like I said, I'll be popping back in here a few times this week just to kind of answer questions that people might have. So I hope you guys have an awesome Wednesday, and we'll talk to you later. And so the event is just 10 days away, so kind of freaks me out, but it'll be great. Talk to you later, guys. Bye bye.